back. So I also want to kind of try and work with material just to show you the differences. Then you can kind of decide on what tool you want to use. So let's this lesson actually switch to the material branch and do a material install as well. Now, first of all, let's have a look right here. Before I actually ended last video, I did a git commit and I did a git push. Now, this was done while I was on the Bootstrap branch, just so that you know. So now all the code right here is for the Bootstrap branch. And notice there's an NGB module and there's actually also the style CSS file right here. So I'm 100% sure that this is the Bootstrap branch. So it's important that the first thing you do is do a git checkout, and now we switch branch to the material branch because that's where I want to try and install the material part for my setup right here. So now we are on the material branch, and you'll notice as soon as I do the styling, it's gone. It doesn't have any Bootstrap information. Neither here, there's no Bootstrap information either. Let's just try and reopen that one. Sometimes it just complains. There we go. So now it seems to be running perfectly. So with that running, let's try and jump back and go into our Angular material library right here and see how we can install that. And luckily on the main page, they have a getting started guide. And down here, it seems to be just as simple as with Bootstrap. We just have to run that command inside our terminal. There we go. It installs something. It goes to NPM again. Now, if you get this warning, it just says that I have a newer Angular CLI version that I'm using in my project. So I might want to go and change that. Now, when Angular material is being installed, it actually asks you if you want to do a pre-built theme right here. And let's just pick one. We're just going to go for the pink, blue, gray. It also asks if you want to do typography styles. I'll just say no for now because I really haven't used that before. It asks if I want to do animation. Yes, I definitely want to do that. I'll just keep the default. And now it installs the packages for me. The packages are installed, and you notice there's a few more files that are being changed, but let's just start with the ones we saw last time. The styles right here, you'll see it actually automatically put on the right height. That's something that I'm missing with Bootstrap. You should actually copy this into your Bootstrap setup if you want to kind of get the right height for your application so it doesn't start kind of only filling parts of your page. I like that. I really like that they took care of that right away for me. And also it added a bit of margin, removed the margin, added a basic font family. So it did a bit more than Bootstrap for me right here. In the index file, it kind of added two different styles for me. It added the Roboto language right here, which is the one we're using for styling. And it also added a couple of icons. We can use material icons right here if we want to start using those. Again, Bootstrap also has a list of icons we can use, so we can also use those. Not a big difference there. In the app module right here, it added a browse animation module out of the box. And that's because we asked for animation. If we need to start using the real modules for material, we're actually going to create those or add those individually. So that means if we need buttons, we're going to add the button module for material. If we need things like the card, we're going to add the card module for material. So you're going to need to kind of micromanage all of this on your own. And that sounds maybe like a tedious thing, but the cool thing is that you can again start being modularized and only get the things you need in material design. So that's also pretty neat in my mind. The final one that we changed was the Angular JSON one right here. Let's just have a look at this one. And again, I can't quite see what we're changing. I know it's this guy right here. We added the styles for the Angular material pre-built theme right here. So again, we're kind of done. So now that we got material installed, let's try and see how it actually looks. Now, first of all, you don't see that much of a difference. It seems that the style again of the text might have changed a little bit. The button looks the same, nothing changed there, because we need to add, again, some kind of styling inside the button in the code. So let's try and go and do that. Now, I'm going to material design again, the page right here, the material Angular IO, and I'm going to components. And I'm going to go to the buttons right here to get some kind of list of buttons. There we go. We can make all these different buttons. Let's actually make a primary button like this that's raised. And the way I can check this out, how I would make it, is to just click this view code right here. And there's some few examples. And I want to use this one for my button to kind of get that primary look right here. Let's try and go back to our code base now. And where do I want to do it? Well, let's do the same place like we did last time. We're going to the chat component. Now we're going to add this right here. Now I don't use classes this time. I'm going to use directives, which is a matte button raised and color right here. That's directives that material knows about. Now notice it actually fails right now because it can't find these directives. Something is wrong. What do we need? Well, we need to start explaining to material what modules we want to use. Now, to start using these modules, what you need to do is you need to dive into the, for instance, the API right here of the button. And I can actually see in order to start using the button module, this area right here, you need to install the matte button module into your module. So let's import that module into our chat module right here. And I might as well just tell you guys, you might need a restart to make this work. Especially, I've seen this on Windows machines, but also on the Mac, I've seen it a few times. You need to do a restart when you install this module sometime, but let's see if it works for me this time. And hopefully with the module, bat button module right here, and this added part to the component, notice it went away now, it's not failing anymore. It should actually now show the button as a primary button. Let's try and have a look how that looks. There we go, nice primary button. And again, if it doesn't show up right away, try and do a restart, Control-C, and try and just run the application again and see if that actually helps you get that button to show up with the right colors. So as the final thing, let's actually try and change it from primary to something else over here. Let's try and go and use the one right here maybe. And again, notice the colors aren't the same like you see in there because we're using a different theme. So you might not see the same colors as you see here, which is perfectly fine because again, I'm using another theme. Now one is actually the orange one right there. It looks the same. And let's just try one more. Let's try the accent one. That's the final one. Accent. There we go. And let's try and refresh the page. There we go. Now, so that means that now we have material up and running on this branch. Sweet. Now we have different branches, and let me just end this by actually doing the git commit right here to kind of show you. I'll do a git commit, I'll do an AM, and I'll say adding material. There we go. Now that is added to this branch, and again, notice it's the material branch that we're working on right here. And now that we have that in place, let's actually do a push again for the material branch, so that will be available on GitHub for you guys. Also, let's try and actually switch branches right here. I'll do a git checkout, and I'll actually switch back to the Bootstrap branch, just to kind of show you guys what you need to do if you want to kind of switch branches to show a customer this actually right here. But there's one thing you need to know. It's not enough just to switch the branch. Then it would actually fail now because it doesn't know about the Bootstrap part. So we'd also do an npm install right here to kind of update the Bootstrap part and also get rid of the material part from the packages up here. Because again, remember we have two different set of packages now. For one of them we use Bootstrap, for the other one we use Material Design. So we got this out of the way. Let's see if that actually helped. I'll just try and restart the server. So the server has restarted. Let's refresh the page, and there we go. We are back to Bootstrap. And let's just, as a final test, go back to our Material Design right here. Check out Material. And yes, I know this is maybe too much information, but I just want you guys to know about this because I feel it's pretty powerful way to start working with these things. And the final thing I'll do is I'll switch back to Bootstrap without showing you guys, and then we'll start working on Bootstrap actually. So let's just have a look if that actually solved our problem again. We'll just restart the server one final time. There we go, we're back in Material. So that's it for this lesson. Now you guys know a little bit about how to install Material as well if you want to, and also a little bit more about working with these different branches if that's something you want to play around with. So let's end the lesson. See you next time. Bye.